One more time for Yasmin. What a set, right? Yeah. Hope you're having some tasty drinks. I recommend the ranch water. It's delicious, but it does not taste like ranch, unfortunately. I was in New York a few weeks ago. It was for work with my wife, and we were driving through Queens to get to the airport. I have like a delayed reaction to what's going on back there. All right, I'm hearing things. We were driving through Queens, and I saw this really weird billboard that said, "Are you shackled by lust? Jesus can set you free." In New York, of all places, I feel like that was... Also, shackled by lust is a really weird way of asking someone if they're a sex addict. It's like triggering, dude. It's kind of sexy, you know, shackled by lust. I feel like they should kick it up a notch and be like, "Are you bound and gagged by your promiscuity?" Jesus Christ is the safe word. Jesus Christ would be a terrible safe word, let's be honest. I'm not bound and gagged by my lust, but I used to be bound and gagged by the military. I was in the United States Air Force for 4 years. That's fine, don't clown, no. I believe I was in like Texas, I would have got a standing ovation and rose petals, but we're in Seattle, it's fine. We got our own thing going on, it's totally cool, I'm with it, I'm here. Second gayest branch, by the way, only behind the Navy. You may be asking, what about the Coast Guard? They're not really part of the military, you know what I mean? They're kind of like TSA for our waterways. If TSA was white, that's exactly what it would look like. I was in a long time ago, it was like 10 years ago. It was more than 10 years ago, actually. It was like 13 years ago. I joined in 2010, so 14 years ago. I'm getting better at math, slowly. It was so long ago I was in before Don't Ask, Don't Tell was repealed. And like, I'm not gay, but I do practice jujitsu, so that shit kind of does a little bit, you know what I mean? The Cowboys fan knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, but yeah, it was a weird time. I had friends who didn't come out after it got repealed, and I can only speculate. I never asked them straight up why. It took them years after it got repealed, and I can only guess that it's because you get made fun of for anything in the military. So if you're gay, obviously there's nothing wrong with being gay, but you don't want to be handing out any ammunition. Like I had a buddy whose last name was Kittleson, and he got called kettle corn and kitty porn. Just for his last name. My last name was Ramirez, right? And like the cute little play on words like dirty spick, beaner, wetback, you know? Cutesy little play on words on the last name. I don't know. I was roomed with the first gay person in our first openly gay person in our unit. We had a little weird reaction. I was coming home one day, and I just wanted to give him a heads up that I was coming in the room, and I was like, "Kimball, what are you doing?" I didn't even know he was home. I just wanted to give him a heads up. Turns out he had just gotten fucked, basically. And he was in the bed, just kind of laying there. I startled him, unbeknownst to me, and all he had to do was cover up, right? But I come in through the room. There's a little bit of a hallway. And as soon as I make it through the threshold to see him, his instinct is to jump out of bed and crouch and moon me. I saw the whites of his brown. It was not pretty. And like, look, the Air Force is by far not the toughest branch, but nowhere in our military training of self-defense is it, "Please don't hurt me." Did I show my crack there? I don't know. I was an aircraft mechanic, and I actually left with a 10% disability. I have chronic back pain, and it turns out it's pretty common for aircraft mechanics because you have to hold these really awkward positions for extended periods of time while you're getting fucked in the asshole by the U.S. government every day. Feels good. It wasn't all bad. I got out. I paid for my college. I was on the GI Bill. I actually want to share some good news. As of last semester, I'm finished with my master's degree. Thank you. I dropped out. It felt amazing. It's good to just know when to call it, you know what I mean? I wanted to study geology. I just couldn't dig the course material, you know what I mean? None of you groaned at the racist jokes, and you're groaning at the puns. That's bullshit. I had a weird roommate. He used to tell me that he used to like to get really high and look at MILF porn. Hot moms, when it was really high. I think he had an edible complex. I don't know. If you didn't get that joke, you didn't go to college. It's okay. It's very elitist. Fuck it, I'm gonna leave the puns alone. I'm a father, that's the thing. My daughter, she turned 1 recently. Aww. Thank you guys. Usually gets dead silence because it's Seattle again. Fuck the military and fuck you for having kids. She's waiting in the car right now, by the way. She'd be heartbroken. I cracked the window though, I'm not like a monster. Setting up at Tesla, because they have this mode where you leave it parked and there's like air conditioning and you can monitor what's going on. It's locked. It's called like dog mode, but like, I don't know, wink, wink. I won't tell if you won't tell. It's cheaper. If you don't know if you know childcare costs, it's way cheaper to just buy a Tesla. It's fucked up, I know. Yeah, she turned 1 recently. I think you should be able to rename your kids when they turn 1. Because a newborn, I don't know if you know this, they have no personality. They're basically still a fetus, but with more or less human rights depending on what state they're in. They're just taking it all in, you know, but after a year, they're walking, they're talking, they're strutting. I want to rename my kid Chastity. Because she's a human chastity belt. Total cock block. You got any parents here? This country's failing, I'm telling you. J.D. Vance is right. Fuck that guy. Whatever. Yeah, being a new parent's cool, especially, you know, 31, whatever. Yeah, we had an incident recently where she had her first serious illness. She had these like really high fevers. We didn't know what was going on. There's no other symptoms, so we had to take her to the hospital, right? They run some tests. We get a call the next day. The doctor calls my wife. She puts it on speaker. She says, "Your daughter has a urinary tract infection. We found E. coli in her urine. Are you familiar with what E. coli is?" I was like, "Yeah, like the bacteria, right?" And the doctor was like overly impressed that we knew what E. coli was. She was like, "Yeah, wait, you wouldn't happen to also be a doctor, would you?" And we're like, "Are you familiar with Chipotle?" This shit gives me E. coli twice a year. It's worth it, whatever. It's a little weird to have a working professional who you hired ask you if you have the same job. You know what I mean? If you got a charge, your lawyer comes up to you, stack of papers. All right, what are we dealing with? You wouldn't happen to also be a lawyer, would you? I'm going to fucking jail. You're flying one day, pilot comes on. Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for flying Alaska Airlines. You may have noticed the doors departed the flight early. No need to worry, we're going to land this plane just fine. On a complete side note, are there any pilots on board? Second opinion. I mean, nothing. Just, yeah. Do you think they offered the Sky Miles reward at the end of that flight? I like to think so. Anyway, any married folk? This country, man, I'm telling you. Some people tell you not to get married. They'll tell you it's like a prison. I couldn't disagree anymore. People get laid in prison. My wife's cool. She was raised Muslim. As far as Muslim women goes, I don't just like them. Assalamu alaikum. We got some cultured people in here. I like that. Back to our sex life. I sent her a dick picture the other day. I don't know. I wanted to get the fucking action going. You know what I mean? Maybe she'll be the first woman turned on by one. I don't know. But this messaging app flagged it as potentially child pornography. That's what I'm working with here. I guess it beats being single. Back in my single days, I used to warn women, like, hey, just so you know, condoms don't fit me right. Not the cool way, though. I kind of look like Dopey from the Seven Dwarfs when I'm wearing a condom. Or like I'm wearing my boyfriend's varsity Letterman jacket. I'm all safe. I look like two kids in a trench coat sneaking into a movie theater. Just not fooling anyone. Yeah, you guys are cool. I don't know, what do you guys want to hear? Want to hear like a crazy sex story or this interaction I had with a homeless person?
Sex story.
It was the same story, it didn't matter. I'm kidding, you guys. I don't get laid. I was walking my dog, it wasn't too long ago, And this lady walked up to me, and I didn't realize she was homeless. She's perfectly pleasant. Asked about my dog. I say, sure. She goes, it's just something snaps in her head. She looks up at me, and she's like, you know, all you Indian motherfuckers keep inbreeding. And that's why you're all retarded. It's like, holy shit, isn't that so offensive? Yeah. She mistook me for an Indian. Thank you guys, have a good night. AJ Ramirez.